Hello, Wesley.
Hi, Jack.
How's it going?
I'm doing pretty good right now. How about you?
I'm doing very well. I'm having a lovely day. This is very fun, hanging out, chatting with people. I'm having a good time.
That's good to know. So am I. I've been looking forward to this all week.
Oh, fantastic.
Hey, Wesley, before we get started, we're going to take a really quick photo, okay? So look at your camera, give me a nice big smile. Ready?
Perfect.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Perfect. You guys are good to go.
Great.
What was your favorite episode in Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I have a couple, and I just rewatched it, so I have new opinions as with like some distance being able to see it. One of my favorites has always been like two-parter Siege of the North. I love the UA storyline, selfishly, like stuff that I enjoyed playing as Sokka. I love the UA storyline, and I also think those episodes are great episodes for Katara, and I think like that Aang transforming into like that giant water monster thing, I think is just like, for me, a very like iconic image of the show. So those are always favorites of mine. Selfishly, I adore Sokka's master. I think that's just like an episode that I loved getting to stretch the character in that way and explore, the self-doubt and the feeling of not being, being surrounded by all these people who you think are like so special, and what do I bring to the table? Like, I think is just a really cool element of that character, and I loved getting to explore that.
Yes, I have a feeling I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Really.
What were your favorite episodes?
Well, for a downtime, to give myself a little giggle, I really enjoyed watching The Chase, because it's around that time where Toph was getting used to being in a group of people and assimilating with being around friends that care about her, but at first she doesn't see it that way.
Yeah.
From Katara's point of view, Toph comes off as a spoiled brat, while in Toph's point of view, Katara was just another person trying to coddle her.
Right. I love that. Toph, to me, like, I feel like if you told me, like, yeah, you build this show in the first season and you've got this, like, core cast of characters and they're great and they have great chemistry and it works so well, to think, like, then in season 2, you're just going to introduce, like, another one and just throw her into the mix. I think, like, on a lot of shows that doesn't work. And the fact that, like, we all remember Toph as, like, such a key part of the show and such like a main character who, like, if you picture the group, like, Toph is in it, but she didn't come till season 2, I think is like such an accomplishment of the writing and of Jesse's to, like, make that character so important and such a cool character.
I think Katara and Toph's clashing is a good example of how a good show or movie could pull that off without going into that cliche.
Yeah. Right. They really, like, it feels like a real relationship. It doesn't feel like, drummed up conflict. It feels like an organic, like, two people butting heads on this new venture. It's cool.
That's actually perfect. For the episodes that hit close to heart, I was a late bloomer to The Last Airbender. I started watching the show around the time where Appa got taken away by the Sandbenders, and Toph felt responsible for taking that part of Aang away from him. During that time, the group was in Ba Sing Se. I thought they were never going to get him back.
Yeah. All the Ba Sing Se stuff, I think, is fantastic. Like Tales of Ba Sing Se and Appa's Lost Days, like that whole zone, I think it's just so cool.
Basically, under Longtime's watch, anything could have happened.
Right. Yeah. All of the Dai Li stuff. Yeah. It's just an incredibly cool section of the show. Someone earlier was asking me, like, what my favorite season is, and it's very hard. There's just, like, I feel like in each section, in each, like, kingdom, they really found incredibly cool stories and new textures to the world. Love it.
I'm not picky about my favorite book either. Based on what you said about how you elaborated onto the Siege of the North was one of your favorites. I can remember it was really fascinating and kind of heartwarming to see Sokka being forced to let go of Yue when she sacrificed herself so the moon could come back. How did it feel for you to record those lines?
It really felt like a challenge that I was excited they were asking that of me. You know, it's like really like an emotional storyline that they hadn't really built that much of for Sokka throughout the first season. You know, there's definitely like emotional moments for Sokka, but it really felt like that was a big culminating thing. So I was a bit intimidated by it, but really loved being able to sink my teeth into this really challenging emotional thing. I think it's just like a beautiful sequence. I think like that character and her decision is beautiful. So I was honored to be a part of it.
I agree. And if I were with Sokka later on, I would tell him that he has my condolences.
Yes, fair. His first girlfriend turned to the moon. It was rough.
Rough, but that's rough, buddy.
Yeah. Well, do you have any last questions? We're getting the 20-second warning here.
Are you a meat guy like Sokka is?
A neat person? No, not at all.
I meant meat.
Oh, meat. Oh, yes. Sorry, I didn't hear you. 100%. Yeah, I'm a big barbecuer, and absolutely all the time. I'm a voracious carnivore.
Much like egg, I'm also a vegetarian. And
okay, I'm sorry.
But there's this one story that I've been dying to share with you. Well, there was this one time in high school when I was on a field trip and we went to this Asian restaurant for lunch. It was an all-you-can-eat place, and I saw a bunch of Jello piled on one, two, or three trays. I don't know, and I was piling my plate with Jello, and I returned to my table. To dig in. One of the chaperones comes over and then she tells me, "You do realize those were made of horse hooves, right?"
Yeah, bummer.
That was really huge news to me, but I ate it anyway. I later told my mother about this experience, and she knew that beforehand. So to this day, we keep stocks of Jello made of seaweed. It's a vegan.
Oh, I didn't know they have vegan. That's very cool. Well, fantastic. I'm sorry that they did that to you. Wishing you all the very best, Leslie. Great to meet you.
Thank you. And could Sokka pop in to say goodbye as well?
Yeah. Say goodbye from the Water Tribe.
Catch you on the flip-flop, mate.